Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Georgia. It's Georgia's Lifestyle and I'm back with another video. Yes, welcome back to Georgia's Lifestyle. It's always a pleasure having you. If you are new to my channel, yes, if you're watching my video for the first time, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. At the end of this video, if you like what you are seeing, give the video a thumbs up. Yes, hit that like button and hit that subscription button and turn on your post notification bell so you don't miss any of my other videos. If you are one of my regular subscribers, I am so happy that you're here following me. I enjoy your company. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for sharing my videos. Yes, you too, make sure to like this video and continue to share them. So guys, in today's video, I am going to tell you how to prepare for your interview. Yes, so this video relates to those of you who have applied for a UAE teaching job. How do you prepare for your interview? What are the expectations? What are some of the questions that the interviewer will ask you? Yes, sometimes the interview will be a team, or it might just be one person interview you. But the key is to be prepared for your interview. So I am going to be sharing my experience with you of how my interview was done and some possible questions that you'll need to answer. Okay, so stay tuned. So guys, yes, you have applied for a UAE teaching job and you are given an interview. That is awesome. Yes. So how do you prepare for that interview? So guys, I got my job here in the UAE through Direct Teacher Recruitment Specialist, and they have been supportive all throughout. From time to time, they still check up on me. Yes, but how did I prepare for my interview? Direct Teachers actually sent me some questions to help me get prepared. Yes, like again, this is not a promotion, but they are really supportive. They sent me some questions as a guide. But guys, you know what? The first thing I did when I heard of that interview and I heard the school's name, you know, the first thing that I did, I went and I did a Google search. I also did a Facebook search, because I wanted to make sure that the school was a legit school. Yes, I really wanted to make sure there was a school by that name. So what I did a Google search, and after I found the school, I looked at the school, I went and searched if they have a Facebook page, and when I found it, I went and I read the reviews, so I knew, yes, this was indeed a school. So that's the first thing, because you don't just want to jump into anything. So I did make sure that I did my research. Okay, the second thing I did was to find out what curriculum the school used. So mostly in the UAE, well, we have different curriculums being used here in the UAE, the British curriculum, the American curriculum, the Canadian, lots of different curriculum used here in the UAE. So if you are given you will be doing an interview, research the curriculum that the school uses. Now, before coming here, I never taught the British curriculum, and that's the curriculum that the school used that I taught first. So I did a bit of research on the British curriculum so that in case I was asked any questions, you know, to tell about the British curriculum, I would have had an idea what to say. The key is to be prepared, to be positive, to be forthright with your answers. Yes, it is very important. There is one thing that I should have mentioned first that I left out in the beginning of this video, and is to be professional. I should have mentioned that first. Most interviews in the UAE are done via some form of social media, Skype, Boating, Yeah, well, just to name a few. If you are outside of the country and you have your interview to do, that means the school will interview via Skype or Botim or any other media in which they decided to use. However, it will be on camera, so you have to be professionally dressed. Yes, you have to be professionally dressed for your interview. That is very key. Looking smart. Gentlemen, in your long sleeve shirts and your tie, and ladies, well dressed. You know, it's a Muslim country, so you want to make the first impression. Be properly dressed, no cleavage hanging out. Your interviewer don't want to see that. So that's the first thing you need to do, to be professionally dressed and to be on time. Even though it's online, be on time. But what I find out is that if you are already in the UAE, most times the school asks you to come in for the interview, and not only will they ask you to come in, they ask you also to do a demo lesson. Yes, that's something I found out. Once you're in the UAE and they're going to interview you for a teaching job, a lot of times, I'm not going to say all the time, but most of the time, they ask you to do a demo lesson after the interview. They will give you the subject and they will give you the objective of the lesson that they want you to focus on. Okay? Yes, so now let me get back to the interview questions. So as I was saying to you earlier, you first research the curriculum that the school uses so that you are prepared. Next, I'll say to have a bank of questions. Go on Google and research interview questions. What I find after doing interviews here in the UAE, you are first asked why. You are asked what experiences do you have that make you think you are fit for this job. What experiences do you have? So of course, if you haven't taught the curriculum that the school is using, you can relate it to something or to your curriculum from your country. Convince them that based on the curriculum that you were teaching before, convince them in a way how it relates to the one, or how it's similar to the one that, yes, you have to be convincing how it is similar to the one that they are using here. So be prepared, be knowledgeable of the curriculum that you are going to be using. Okay, so another question that they frequently ask is for you to tell them your strengths and your weaknesses as a teacher. Now remember, don't sugarcoat it. We all have weaknesses as a teacher, so you are definitely going to be asked what are some of your strengths and what are some of your weaknesses. Guys, don't say one of your weaknesses is that you don't like lesson planning. Don't say that one of your weaknesses is procrastinating. Put over your weakness in such a way that it doesn't come over negative. What if it is that you procrastinate a lot? Because I tend to do that. If it is that you have to say that, say you sometimes leave things undone, but you get the job done before it is due. So if you have to say that your weakness is procrastinating, find a suitable way to say it, that sometimes I take a time to do something, but I ensure that I get my job done in the appropriate time and I meet the deadlines. Even though you might say you procrastinate a lot, let them know that, especially when you are working with a team and you need to be sharing information, even though you procrastinate, you're going to ensure that you don't have anyone else, holding up anyone else, okay? So guys, think about your strengths and your weaknesses. You're definitely going to be asked those questions. You're definitely going to be asked to tell of a lesson that you have taught before, an interesting lesson, and why you think that that's the best lesson you have ever taught. They're going to say to you, walk them through that lesson. Tell them what you did. What makes you think that that was an excellent lesson? Another question that they normally ask you is that if they were to walk in your class one day, what would they see? Upon entering your classroom, what are they expected to see? Guys, my favorite question, my favorite answer is always, once you enter my classroom, it's going to be print rich. It's going to be colorful. It's going to be appealing. You're going to see students' work being showcased. You're going to see kids actively participating. Yes, so they're definitely going to ask you that question. Say to them, you're going to see my kids sitting in groups. They're going to ask you, how do you seat your kids? You can choose to say, I have them in ability levels, or I have them seated in mixed ability levels. And if you're asked, why do you do that? So that my kids can communicate with each other. They can, the stronger student can help the weaker one. Just be positive, just be forthright, just be direct in what you're answering. Yes, eye contact. Look your interviewer in the eye. There's one thing I did when I was doing my interview here. I had a little paper set aside just in case I forgot something I wanted to say. I could take a quick glance, but you should always be making eye contact with the interviewer because they are watching you. Have a pleasant countenance. Yes, so let me get back to the questions. Yes, so something else that you are going to be asked is, what do you think about inclusion? The UAE is keen about inclusion. What do I mean by that? Having kids of different mixed abilities. We call them here, some of the kids here, people of determination, meaning they might be in a wheelchair, they might have some learning deficiencies and so on. What do you think about that? Yes, you have to say you are keen on having an inclusive environment, meaning you don't think a child who has a disability should be placed in a different room or be placed in a different class. Yes, you are going to be expected to have those kids together and use your teaching skills, use your strategies to manage those skills. So you have to say, yes, you are keen on inclusion and you believe in inclusion. That's a key to working here in the UAE. Being keen on inclusion. All right, I'm talking from the top of my head. All right, another question they ask is, how do you deal with indiscipline? What are some behavioral strategies that you use in your class? It's a must that you're going to be asked that question. What are some behavioral strategies you use in your class? How do you deal with kids who are misbehaving? Yes, so you have to think about those strategies that you will say. And guys, don't ever say you are going to put the child on the outside to stand. Not acceptable. Don't ever say you are going to, you can't say anything to hurt the child's feeling. Yes, but give some positive reinforcement. Negative reinforcement is not accepted here. Give some positive reinforcement strategies. How will you help to change this child's behavior? They'll ask you, okay, how do you follow a chain of command? What do you do if you're having difficulty in the class with a child? What do you do? Do you immediately reprimand the child? Do you follow, what chain of command do you follow? Do you just go ahead and call the parents? No, you first speak to the child privately, quietly. You report to your grade coordinator, then you might talk to your head of year, and it depends on the nature of the incident before you go ahead and contact parents. Yes, another question is, what skills and interests do you have? All teachers in the UAE have to take part in extracurricular activities within their school. So are you good at drama? Are you good at music? Are you good at any sports? And guys, especially something you can't leave out, be proficient in technology. If you notice what is happening in our world now, some of us teachers were never taught to use some technology that we have to use now. Be proficient, so that you can also mention that you're good with Microsoft Teams, you're good with Google Classroom. Yes, be keen on those so that you can answer those questions well. And guys, in the interview, you're going to be given a chance to ask some questions. Don't jump ahead and go ahead and be asking about salary. No. No guys, don't go ahead and be asking about salary. Ask questions such as, this is what I normally ask: what scope is there for me to develop as a teacher in your school? What professional development do you plan for teachers? Yes, ask questions like that. Ask them to tell you what are the technological devices that are in the school that you can use to enhance your lesson, because they might ask you to tell them some technologies that you use in your lesson. So those are the questions that you should ask. Ask questions that relate to the development of the school, to your professional development while working in the school. After you're given an offer now, then, and it's not suitable to you, then you can talk about the salary there and try to negotiate, but it's not advised to do it in the interview. So guys, I don't want this video to be too long, so I'll be putting some of the questions in the description box and you can go ahead and practice answering them. So another question that I think, or that is frequently asked, is how do you take advice and guidance? Yeah, I know there are persons who have an issue with that, have an issue submitting to authority. Yes, how do you take advice and guidance? You have to be clear in your answer that you do value advice and guidance, and of course that you are going to you're going to take the advice of whoever is set over you, your year leader. You can make mention, if you are not in agreement with something, how you are going to respectfully say it, but you have to submit to authority. Okay guys, another key question is, how important is differentiation? Now, as teachers, we all know that our kids have different ability levels, and one lesson one method or one technique doesn't work for every student. So you have to plan differentiated lessons. So you have to be clear on how you answer that question, that even though you might do team planning, you're going to make sure you tailor those lesson plans to suit the needs of your kids. You aren't going to give everybody the same activity. The content will be the same, but you're going to make sure that you differentiate in the method that you deliver, so that all students in your class can understand what you're teaching. When it comes to giving them the activities, you're going to make sure the activities match the ability level of your kids. So that is a question that you have to be prepared to answer. How important is differentiation in your lesson? So the school might ask you, what can you bring to our school? What expertise, what skills will you bring to their school? So you have to tell them the things that you are good at that will help to enhance the development of the school. So sell yourselves as much as you can. Tell them of your different skills and how you are going to be a team player within the organization. Yeah, and you will be asked too, do you consider yourself to be a team player? It's not a one-man band, so be prepared to answer that. And an interviewer might ask you, what would they be missing out if they don't employ you? Now you have to sell yourself again. Yes, tell them of your different teaching styles. Tell them how you make kids feel comfortable. Tell them how you ensure at all times that you're approachable, that you will make yourself approachable, that in so much that your kids will want to talk to you. Your kids will feel that they can confide in you. Being such a team player, your other team members, other teachers you're teaching with, they're going to see you as being approachable, somebody that they can come to from time to time. So tell the interview of the different skills, the different expertise. You are good at this, you are good at Microsoft Teams, you are good at Excel, you're good at PowerPoint. You are sell yourselves. Talk about the skills that you have that you can use outside of teaching. So guys, like I said, I don't want this video to be long, so feel free to reach out to me via my email address, which will also be in the description box, and I will put in the description box some further questions that you can think about. Once again, thank you so much for watching. It's a pleasure reaching out to you. It's a pleasure helping you along your teaching journey and finding a job here in the UAE. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Don't forget to share my videos with your friends. Tell your friends to subscribe to Georgia's Lifestyle, and don't forget to like the video. Give this video a thumbs up and leave your comments in the comments section. Bye guys, peace out, take care of yourselves, love yourselves and each other. God bless you.